Welcome to Matinee Heroes presents Cast Off, our second episode here live at LA Comic-Con, and we're doing one of our favorite Christmas movies of all time, Batman Returns. Yes, Batman Returns is a Christmas movie.
Yes,
no argument.
People forget
definitely.
that. Mm-hmm. So let's meet our contestants. For those of you who don't know, I keep forgetting this is our second show, so I feel like, they already know this, so deal with us for a second. This is for the recording. For those of you who have never been listened or seen the cast off, this is the show where we take some of your favorite movies and recast them with actors you love. And to help with the Christmas season and with the holiday season and for the show here live, we have gotten some great folks for you. We've got from Me Versus You, Sam Mateos.
Woo! That's me.
So talk about Me Versus You. This is you and your friend.
Yeah, so our podcast, Me Versus You, we haven't been doing it for 20 years, but we have been doing it for about 3. It's my best friend and I, and every week we have a different category, and we pick movies the other hasn't seen, and then we talk about it. Our last episode was great. It was just movies that aged well. So we watched The Sting.
Oh, yeah.
And The Truman Show.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
nice.
yeah, no fights, no arguing, no fight. Like, it was the
So it was
most-
me and you, not me versus you.
It's me versus you.
No, but it was me and you that episode.
Yes.
There was no versus.
There was no versus.
It was a love fest.
It was perfect.
How often
What
does
was
that
Orson
happen?
Welles involved?
Never.
Never?
Never. Like, we're afraid we might have jumped the shark. Like,
Well, it was the holidays. It was you were in the Thanksgiving spirit.
yeah. I think we got the holly jollies already.
And
so.
Derek, what were you saying over there?
No, I just wondered if Orson Welles was involved. Did a love fest.
And from the Nerdy Bitches podcast, Heather.
Hi, I'm Heather, Nerdy Bitches Podcast. So our podcast, I also have a co-host, and we talk about general pop culture with a little nerdy perspective, or female perspective, more importantly. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, the most important part is it's two bitches.
So yeah, we're bringing back bitches. We decided we're just going to take it and run with it, and so that's us.
You're reclaiming bitch as a positive.
Yeah. Yeah, we do a lot of movie reviews, and we actually do a lot where we watch movies that were like big in the 90s or the 80s, and we'll say if it does it hold up to today's standards. And
Yeah,
so that's really fun.
You've been suffering through some Guttenbergs.
Oh my God. So we do have theme months, and so my theme months have all been awesome. I had Bat Month with Batman stuff, and Mean Girls Month with all Mean Girls type movies, and she picks Guttenberg, and oh man, Steve Guttenberg is like not a great actor, and
I had to explain to my wife who he was and why he was popular.
Why he was.
Yeah, I couldn't.
It's beyond me. Like I just do not know what the appeal is, but nonetheless.
Well, when he was 23 or 4 years old, he and Tom Hanks were like equals and went with a different path. Because Tom Hanks was doing Bachelor Party and things like that, and Guttenberg was doing Police Academy, and then all of a sudden, one took off, and the other one decided, I'm just going to mellow out here.
And do more Police Academy.
Yeah, I was going to
Do
say,
more
I'll
crap.
do Police
All right.
Academy 13.
Well, let's get to the rules. The show does have some rules, and first we're going to name a character, and then these lovely ladies will offer up a different actor to play the part, and you, the audience, will vote, and whoever gets the most points wins. The best choice gets a point, and if you get I'm also playing along, so if you actually get a point, the same pick as I did, as we saw in the first game, it's a good way if you start falling behind, you can possibly pick up a couple extra points. Person with the most points wins, and if there is a tie, there will be a double feature to win, and we'll explain that when and if it's necessary. But once again, if you haven't, especially the 4 people who are sitting here who've never experienced Matinee Heroes before, now would be the time. Go to matineeheroes.com and subscribe, and you can listen to our regular podcast with me and Alan Cerny, where we talk about movies. And the great movie we're doing is Lincoln, as we celebrate Steven Spielberg month. So head over to matineeheroes.com/subscribe, where you can listen to over 255 episodes. We've been doing it for 5 years. And of course, please go to the Patreon. We have another 60 episodes there that for a small donation, you can save a small child, me, and we can keep playing. We can keep the podcast going. All right, so let's get on to Batman Returns. Yay!
Woo!
So we start off with, now I say the one true Batman is Kevin Conroy. I'm sorry, he's here at the event,
Yes.
and he is the voice of the animated version of Batman. I think he does the best job of doing both. I think this one is the best Bruce Wayne, and that is the great Michael Keaton as Batman. And you know he's the best because did they ask the other guys back to be in the Flash movie?
Well, they did ask one, yes.
Which one?
Ben Affleck.
They did? You
Yes,
said
he's
no?
in it too. No, he's in it.
No, he's in it, but I think he's contractually obligated.
Oh, you're going to split hairs about this.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I think he's still the Batman until we get a new one, until Robert Pattinson movie comes out, right?
No one knows for sure.
Okay. Well, then no one knows for sure. Why are you being so expert on it?
Well,
you sound
yeah.
very confident.
Yeah, because that's how I talk.
This is Fanboy Planet. All right.
That's right. You
So-
just live in it.
So we're going to start with Heather. And Heather, and then we're going to alternate. So Heather, using any actor through space and time, who do you have playing Bruce Wayne / Batman?
I really like the brooding part of Batman. You know, he sits over Gotham and he just broods. And who is really good at doing that and kicking a little ass? I went with Sebastian Stan.
So the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan, known as the One-Armed Bandit.
That's also like a super dreamy photo of him.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, you don't want ugly Bruce Wayne. You want handsome, gorgeous Bruce Wayne.
Like he almost looks like Army Hammer in that picture.
No, we don't want cannibal Bruce Wayne. We
Who
want
was
regular
cast
Bruce
once
Wayne.
as Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So obviously he has been in the Winter Soldier in Bucky Barnes in the MCU movies, but he did make a good living early on as the douchebag. He was always that douchebag guy, like in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah.
And the Black Swan. He was in The Martian, and he was in Logan Lucky. So and he's a very talented guy, and a lot of people think he looks just like Mark Hamill, or a very young Mark Hamill.
I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
It's the chin dimple.
But yes, I did get a very dreamy picture of him because it's it's
That's
Bruce
the
Wayne.
kind of headshot that Bruce Wayne has to take for like GQ to be like, no, I was doing a GQ photo shoot. I couldn't possibly be Batman.
No. I was too busy sleeping with those Playboy models. I couldn't possibly. I was exhausted. I couldn't do it. Yeah.
I was exhausted for an entirely different reason that night.
Yeah. So let's go on to Sam. Sam, who do you have playing the great Bruce Wayne?
I really wanted to focus on like the Tim Burton-y aspects of this movie, and so I picked all people that I think would fit the roles well, but also be able to pull in a little bit of that Tim Burton weirdness. So I went with Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke, absolutely. Independent film icon. I tried to find pictures of them in bow tie tuxedos because that's Bruce Wayne. But he was in Linkletter's Before trilogy, Dead Poet Society, Training Day, Boyhood, and The Purge.
Well, you missed out Valerian, City of a Thousand Planets.
No, I didn't.
He's the only good part of that movie.
No, he
he's the
isn't.
only person who gets what movie he's in. He's like,
I
this
have-
movie is bonkers. I'm going to play Bono like a lunatic, and everyone's going to love it. He's the only good part of that
the only
movie.
the biggest problem I had with that is Claire Devillon. Did I say that right,
Cara
Derek?
Delevingne.
Maybe.
Oh, Cara Delevingne.
Delevingne.
Okay.
How did I
Pierre
translate
Delay.
that?
Yeah, Tom DeLay and the Dane DeHaan look like brother and sister.
Yeah.
I mean, literally like brother and sister, like
Yeah.
twins, like
Yeah.
Luke and Leia kind of situation.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be love interests. It was creepy the whole movie. That movie was awful.
Oh, I thought it was just because they could not act.
Oh, yeah, and they
No,
have
she-
no chemistry whatsoever.
No, there
No,
was
no.
there was no like.
No.
It was like they read it, and director's like, good.
Yeah.
You're like they
Well-
didn't even have any emotion. They
It's like
were
someone hit him with a
Honest, I
frying
watched
pan.
it on a lot of cold medicine, and I understood everything.
Yeah, that's
So
That's weird. I had the same
Don't get me wrong.
experience.
so. Let's go with the iconic Batman, Bruce Wayne. We have Sebastian Stan and we have Ethan Hawke. So we'll go to the audience. Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier.
Oh, really?
You can't vote for yourself. And Ethan Hawke. Oh, and 2 abstentions. The Wookiee has lost his naming rights, and his mom. Which one did you like? John Hamm.
That was
Yeah.
on my short list. Honest to God,
solid.
I was thinking, well,
It's
I
the
want to go.
dimple.
I wanted to go younger.
Yeah, he's got the
Yeah.
dimple. Yeah,
I
he
just
looks-
didn't know his fighting ability because all I ever
Again, we
saw-
can train that.
Oh, he's amazing in tag. He does like, but I mean,
and
he does
he's
action
in
stuff.
Baby Driver.
Yeah,
Baby Driver, but he did. I don't remember him doing any actual action in Baby Driver.
Well, I mean,
Well,
but really, arguably, Keaton doesn't really either because
Yeah,
he
I was
can't
about to
turn his
say.
head in the cowl.
But the
so.
important
call.
thing about the casting of John Hamm is you really see the chin.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the chiseled chin.
So-
and jawline.
Yes.
So it looks like.
But just pointing it out, I won that point.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I was just
That's
recapping as we
fine.
moved on. Sam gets a point. I went with a very young Warren Beatty.
Okay.
Because you want someone who's handsome but also rugged, very Bonnie and Clyde-esque.
Also
Warren Beatty.
very Playboy-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but
Yeah.
Dick Tracy.
yeah, he's got the Bruce Wayne down because you really just go for the Bruce Wayne, and we can make you Batman because the cowl will do most of the work. So, all right.
Yeah. But
Now we get to the great Danny DeVito as the Penguin. Sam, this one is going to be a lot of makeup, a lot of big noses and hats.
Yeah,
so who
I
do you
really
have?
didn't even want to recast this one.
I agree.
I was like, can't we just keep Danny DeVito?
yeah.
Burgess Meredith was great as the Penguin. So
Yes.
it has been done before by people who are just as good.
I know. So I feel like I kind of cheaped out a little bit with my answer because I did pick someone who like lives in prosthetics and stuff. I picked Andy Serkis.
Oh.
Ah, the great Andy
Yeah.
Serkis, the motion caption master.
Yeah.
He has played Gollum from Lord of the Rings. He played Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies. But he is also Alfred
In the upcoming
Robert Pattinson movie. So he's British, so he's got that done. So also he is Claw in Black Panther, and he was in The Prestige as well.
Yeah.
He also was Snoke in the sequels, but who cares? Those movies were not the greatest. So Andy Serkis, who do you have that can go against the motion capture? Now, would he be motion capture or would he be himself with some?
Oh no, I think it'd be himself with some prosthetics.
Okay, just
Yeah.
making sure because that's not fair. If
I
he's
know.
going to totally look different.
Hey! It's Oscar rules. I mean, he wasn't eligible for an Oscar as
Yeah.
motion capture, so it's.
Well,
gotta
I'm
be
really
him.
upset that Colin Farrell is playing the Penguin because he's they just put a fat suit on him, and I'm like, hey, there's fat actors out there that can
Yeah.
get that job.
Yeah.
Why are you have to get chunked up for it? Why don't you hire?
Yeah.
We're ready to go. I'm ready to go.
I have these vampire teeth here. Where was I when they were filming all of True Blood?
Heather?
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I really don't like the Penguin character. I get the brand he's going for. I mean, I like the Penguin character himself, but not in this particular movie. And so I went with somebody that I think could kind of pull off the ugly, but is also kind of a good actor. A really good actor, actually. I went with Paul Giamatti.
Ah, yes. The great Paul Giamatti, known for his short fuse. Nobody gets more angry quicker than Paul Giamatti, but it's that impotent rage is what he's good at. He's screaming, but not much helping out. But of course, he was in Sideways, Saving Private Ryan, Saving Mr. Banks, great in American Splendor, and most recently it was in the Gunpowder Milkshake, if you haven't seen that on
Yeah,
Netflix.
that was fun.
So
He also played John Adams.
he did play John Adams with a wonderful Laura Linney as Mrs. Adams.
I will never see Paul Giamatti and not think of Big Fat Liar, where he's
turns
dancing
blue.
around and dyed blue and listening to Duran Duran.
Yeah, there you go.
Wasn't he blue in Agent Cody Banks as well?
No, but Big Fat Liar had Frankie Muniz. in it.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
why. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
All right. So we have for Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin, Andy Serkis, Paul Giamatti. So how many people would like to see Andy Serkis?
I got one! Woo!
Hey! Paul Giamatti. Ooh, absolutely. Heather has come back to tie it up with Paul Giamatti. I went with Philip Seymour Hoffman, the great Philip.
Okay. Yeah.
Obviously taken away from us way too soon, but I kind of figured the master was the prototype
Yeah,
I was going
yeah.
for in that one. Because he's crazy. He's going to create Scientology. I mean, what's the Penguin doing down there? He's creating some kind of weird religion anyways.
Well, I
Chase,
know,
you
and
got
it
an
would,
idea? You got one for the Penguin? No. Okay.
but I do like.
Yeah, we got one. What's your name, sir?
Daniel Pesci.
Daniel. So you want Joe Pesci?
Daniel, I think Daniel Pesci would be a good.
You mean Joe Pesci? Joe Pesci. That's why I thought your name was Daniel and you were offering Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci would be great. What are you?
I would
What am I?
love to
What am I? A
hear
clown to
Joe
you? What am I? A
Pesci.
bird to
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, what am I?
You talking to me?
That's
do
De Niro.
I amuse you?
Yeah.
Do I make you laugh?
What do I smell like fish? What's going on here? All right.
No,
to you.
I could see Joe Pesci.
Yeah, Joe Pesci would be great.
like that.
Then you hit him with a face in the paint can and you'd be all done. That's all right. Well, next we get to the amazing Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. Now, Catwoman has had several incarnations. All have been amazing. The movies may have not, but I think even Halle Berry's incarnation of her was good. It's just that she was in a crappy movie.
Yeah.
But then again, I have a weak spot for Halle Berry, who I don't think I picked for this because she's already Catwoman. So we go with Heather. Who do you have playing the Selena Kyle, messed up in the head? She's licking herself clean, which is the grossest thing, especially if you have a sinus.
yeah,
Ugh,
yeah.
gross. she's not going to. Human beings cannot clean themselves with their own tongue. Just remember that, Chase, as you get older.
I don't know why you're fixated on it.
I know, it really is.
Because I remember her doing it in front of. Because we just watched the movie recently because you had to do it for your podcast, or you were doing it for the recast, and it was just gross. Because especially in the pandemic era, watching someone lick themselves and then touch another human being is gross.
Yeah.
Even if it's
I
Michelle
think
Pfeiffer.
of the movie Uncle Buck with the line by, it's Macaulay Culkin, a very young Macaulay Culkin says, "That's a dumb thing to do during cold and flu season."
Absolutely. So Heather, who do you have playing Catwoman?
I went with, and in this very specific time frame, Kill Bill, Lucy Liu.
Ah, Kill Bill.
Okay.
The kick-ass katana crime lord, Lucy Liu, who's amazing in a lot of things. Not only was she great in Kill Bill Volume 1, where she played Oshi?
Yeah.
Yeah, where she was, when she gives that speech about taking over, and she just starts hacking people up. She's great. She was in Charlie's Angels, where she fought with Bill Murray. She was in Kung Fu Panda, Shanghai Noon, and then just to prove that everybody makes mistakes, she was in Ballistics, X versus Sever.
No, that movie didn't exist.
Yeah, it existed.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's
I can show it to you tomorrow.
No, I've been there.
Yeah.
never
Then you admit it.
You know, I've never heard of it, so it must not be real.
It's not good. Just it's a fever dream. Watch it in cold and flu season.
It is the worst movie I've ever seen.
It is awful.
So double feature with Cold Medicine, Valerian, City of a Thousand Planets,
Yeah.
Ballistic.
No,
You will
because
say,
we'd have to
that
put you
was
on,
the greatest thing I've ever seen.
no, because we'll have to put you on suicide watch if that happens. We like you, Sam. We want you to keep you here.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So who do you have playing Selena Kyle?
I went in the same Kill Bill vein because I picked Uma Thurman.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got known for killing the last choice. Yes. Uma Thurman killed.
It's a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's also, she comes back from the dead in Pulp Fiction, because Eric Stoltz has some adrenaline in his house, just keeping it there. She was also in a Batman movie. She was in Batman and Robin. She played Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
I loved her in Be Cool. That was also a very good movie. And then, of course, she was in The Avengers. The
The other
British
one.
Avengers.
British
The other
Avengers.
Avengers.
The other one.
Yeah, the-
other one.
Yeah,
With,
the
Ray
one about
Fiennes,
weather.
right?
It was about weather.
It was very weird.
It was stupid. All
I
right.
remember seeing it when it came out, so it was like 1996, and I was 7, being
Okay.
like, they're really cool.
You were 7 in 1996?
Still not as
Yeah.
bad as
You
Ballistic
can go
X
fuck
versus
yourself.
Sever.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but I don't like it when young people come up here and go, I was a kid when you were already out of high school. Except
You
that they're
can still
15.
compete, Chase.
Yeah, it's okay, Chase, if you're actually young now. But when you're
Yeah.
semi-adult, it gets irritating.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Calling me a semi-adult.
We're all semi-adults here. This is comic.
Derek's not an adult, and he's the oldest among us.
It's Comic-Con, we're all
I'm a
semi-adult.
fanboy.
So let's go back to Kill Bill Volume 1. Do we want Lucy Liu, or do we want Uma Thurman? How many people want Lucy Liu? Well, we got Derek's wife. How many want Uma Thurman? It's a tie. Chase, what do you like of the two? You don't have to
No
like either
pressure,
one.
but
Uma Thurman? Yeah. Okay, that's all we needed. Oh, he's. Oh, Mila Jovovich. Yeah, Mila
good too.
Jovovich would be
Yeah.
good
It's
too.
also Black Swan in mine.
No, she's not black.
No, I think I got it.
You're thinking of Mila Kunis.
Oh, then I don't
Mila
know.
Jovovich is the Fifth Element.
Fifth Element.
Oh,
Yeah.
multipass.
Also,
And
Resident Evil.
Evil.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That very good. Chase is doing good on this. Yeah, she likes her pick better than the other ones.
I
And
think that's how it
Chase,
goes.
make sure
I
he
like
gets your email address before
Yeah,
you
you
leave.
should
Yeah. Sign up to do
compete
this.
on this show.
Then he
On the
can
live
tell you
stream.
to go F yourself because you're a young person.
So I went with Emily Blunt. And I went with Emily Blunt from what's the Tomorrow, the one
Edge
with
of
Tom Cruise,
Tomorrow.
Edge of
Yeah.
Tomorrow, where she is kick-ass in that. And,
She
Oh, yeah.
is.
and she's actually kick-ass in the Jungle Cruise. If you have
She
not seen the
is.
Jungle Cruise with The Rock,
She is kick-ass in The Devil Wears Prada.
yes,
Yeah.
well, she's kick-ass in general. But I was watching that movie, and I'm like, she's doing a lot more than The Rock is doing. And The Rock is every once in a while goes and fights somebody, but she's flying and doing stuff, and he's really kind of secondary in the action department. Letting Emily do all the stuff. But yes, and I just think she's just adorable. Look at that picture. She's just a wonderful, sweet lady. John Krasinski and her, they make a perfect couple. All right. Next we have, all right, and I want you to give your answer in the impression of Christopher Walken.
I was not told there'd
He's-
be impressive.
Yeah, I'm terrible.
It's Christopher Walken. He is Max Shrek. He is he's running for mayor of Gotham. I'm doing a very bad impression.
I was
but
going to say, when does your walk-in impression start? No,
I don't have one.
That is just
He
mean.
wasn't
I'm
as
sorry.
bad
I'm
as
so glad that's where the bar
So-
is.
Yeah.
I want to say this watch was up my father's ass for so many years. That's Pulp Fiction, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we go with Sam. Who is your Max Shrek?
I really thought that this person could be the new mayor.
Oh, I like the mayor. You said it. You had it for a second. Mayor.
I went with David Tennant.
Oh, yes. David Tennant, and I think I got a good picture of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big great
So
one.
this is going to be from 80 Around the World in 80 Days, which comes
yeah,
out at
the new
Christmas.
show, yeah.
David Tennant, also, he is charming AF. I love David Tennant. He's great as Doctor Who. Well, I'm sorry, as the Doctor in Doctor Who.
Thank you.
I got you there. He also in Good Omens, he was the Purple Man, or Mr. Purple of the Purple Man.
Purple Man.
The Purple
Yeah.
Man.
In the Jessica Jones, he's the rat-faced guy in Harry Potter movies.
No, he's
and
not.
No, he's not.
Hey, he is.
He's one
Yes.
character. He's in one thing.
He's in
He's-
one
he-
movie.
and he goes like this.
He is-
and that's the end of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he seemed like he was a little rat-faced in that one.
But there
No.
was
No, but there's
literally
actually a
I'm
rat
sorry,
face.
there's a heavy set
so-
fat
There is
looking
a
guy.
rat. There is a rat-faced guy that turned from a rat, and that's obviously going to be the one we're thinking of.
Well, as not a Harry,
It's going to be a long drive home.
I'm not a pothead, so I don't know the Potter universe.
Did you
I'm
call
not
them a
but I'm
pothead?
a
Potheads are, that's what I call
Potterhead,
them.
and I don't
No,
have
I
9
call-
years to explain.
I call
the
them
differences.
potheads. I don't call them Potterheads.
You know, my wife's wearing a Slytherin cap right now.
That's all right. I got my Ravenclaw hat back at the hotel. But
I'm
he was
also a
in,
Ravenclaw. I should get a bonus.
he was in a Harry Potter movie then.
He was in Harry Potter and the Goblet
And when he
of
does that
Fire.
little thing, he looks like a little rat.
ready
All right,
for that,
so so we go from David Tennant to
Oh, my pick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I cannot do impressions, so I will just say who I picked. Somebody that can be very, sometimes charming, and then clearly there's something wrong with them. So I picked Nicolas Cage.
Absolutely.
And more cowbell. There you go.
Nicolas Cage. So he's known as being crazy AF. So we got one who's charming AF and he is crazy AF. But of course, he is amazing in everything he does. We saw him in Face Off, where he was completely batshit. We saw him in Raising Arizona, Kick-Ass. I loved him in Into the Spider-Verse, just doing voice work.
Yes.
And most recently, he did the movie Pig, which I really, really enjoyed. It was a very sad, melancholy movie, but he was really good in it, not going crazy. He was kind of a low-key Nick Cage. So, so we have
And he stole the Declaration of Independence.
Well, and
pig?
also rescued a bunch of people from Alcatraz in The Rock.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
the best movie.
But then he also
He also stole an airplane in Con Air.
Con Air, yeah.
Rock the Con Air, that era of I'm blanking on
But more
names.
importantly-
Way too many
Yeah.
Nicolas
But more
Cage
importantly, he
movies.
overcame alcoholism in leaving Las Vegas.
Sure.
So we went on.
He didn't overcome it.
Okay.
He won an Oscar for it.
Yes. Anyways, so we have the great David Tennant versus the great Nick Cage. This was, of all of the 2 episodes we're doing, this was my difficult choice for me because I think you both hit it right on the head in different ways. So who is there for David Tennant?
I got one.
Nicolas Cage. All right, yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so we have Nicolas Cage. So that means if I had my numbers correctly, I believe it is 2-2.
It is.
So yeah, you also keep track because I'm not good with math. All right, so it is tied 2-2. I went with Andy Garcia.
Okay. All right.
Because he, especially when he wears his fedora and he smokes
Yeah.
his cigar, as he gets older, he's wearing that ascot.
All right. All right.
So now we get to world famous Alfred Pennyworth, who in the Batman movies for Tim Burton and for Schumacher, he was the only one that kind of crossed over. Not the gung-ho guy that Sean Pertwee turned him into, and they've retrofitted where he was a gung-ho ex-military person.
I do like that, though.
Yeah.
So,
Big fan. Big fan of that retcon.
so Heather, who do you have as Alfred?
I picked one of my more favorite British old men, Bill Nighy.
Oh yes, Bill Nighy is great.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
He's got that Alfred look to him. This guy is coming in hot.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Nighy.
No, Bill Nighy. Bill Nye's the science guy. Bill Nighy is a very talented actor.
But man, if we said Bill Nye would do a very good job as being an American Pennyworth.
I don't know.
Nah,
So
he would teach him all the science though.
yeah, so we've got him. He's a very versatile character actor. Had a great chance for the 1 year I did CineQuest. So that was the one place we were supposed to meet Derek, and we didn't.
But I saw that.
I was the bodyguard. If you looked at the end of the stage, I was standing there the entire time.
That's why I know you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he kicked him out.
Yeah, that was it.
That's right.
Oh.
They put me up on stage like I'm the one that's going to stop anybody from attacking Bill Nighy.
Okay, yes.
But who's going to attack Bill Nighy? He's wonderful.
I don't know. But
I loved him in Love Actually,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that character of the aged rock star redoing his music, and
He was in Shaun of the Dead, Valkyrie. He's in the Underworld movies, which is crazy.
Yes.
And Hot Fuzz, which I love that movie
He's
too.
also in a Harry Potter movie.
oh yes, he is.
Well-
He's also the Minister of Magic.
It's every British person has to be in a Harry Potter movie, or they're not considered an actor.
Or they're in Game of Thrones.
That's
or
right.
Game of Thrones.
Or they play Alfred.
So who do you have as Alfred?
Alfred.
So who do you have as your Alfred?
This is the one that I'm pretty sure made you go, what the hell? Because I wanted someone who looked terrifying and looked like they could beat you up, but also provide the weird Ethan Hawke
Okay.
advice. So I went with Robert Englund.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So we went with Freddy Krueger.
I went with Freddy Krueger,
That's
yeah.
who it is. Okay.
Horror legend Robert Englund, who is a very nice guy. I had drinks with him before. With him and Lance Henriksen. I'm dropping names because this is the only time I can. I had drinks with Lance Henriksen and Robert Englund in Houston one day.
Are we going to get a custodian here to sweep up after all these names
Hey,
we dropped?
I don't have much. I just have a couple names I can throw down,
Ask
and that's
them
the one.
how many know Craig Price.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
None. Like who? Who's that
just-
guy sitting next to us? So
I've just heard so many stories of him being such a nice person.
he is. He's a wonderful
But
person.
he also looks like someone that could kick your teeth in.
Yeah.
And that is who is teaching Ethan Hawke to be Batman.
And also, he's got that that Jebediah Springfield beard that he always got going on. So he was in Nightmare on Elm Street, Wishmaster, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, so one of the few movies where he wasn't a crazy person, and Incubus.
Got that.
All right, so we have
Batman Forever.
Bill Nighy as Alfred, or we have Robert Englund. How many would love Bill Nighy for Pennyworth, for Alfred? Oh, one.
Oh.
Oh, this is a, and how many would like Robert Englund?
Oh!
In an upset, I have to say that had to be an upset because Bill Nighy is just spot on for Alfred.
Well,
but-
this is a lot better because usually the upsets are against me.
so that means, Sam, you take the lead by one.
Oh, there we go.
Right.
Okay, what you
Chase.
got?
Do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know Ian
Yeah,
McShane.
that is good.
The only problem with Ian McShane, I'm not going to say it here, but he'll drop the C word a lot. And I don't think Alfred would do that. But
Yeah, but I think he would in a Tim Burton
But what
Batman.
about, what's the guy that is the concierge at,
Oh, that's Lance Riddick.
Lance Riddick might be kind of fun in your kind of kick-ass teaching
Yeah.
them, that stuff, yeah.
He's got that very live, Lance Riddick's great. I
Good
went
choice,
with
Chase.
the great Alan Rickman. You got Snape as Alfred, Mr. Wayne.
He's also
Yes,
in
sir.
several Harry Potter.
Mr.
Yeah, the problem
Wayne.
is
Several,
he would,
all
he
of
would
them.
steal the show. It would be a show called Alfred.
And that's fine,
And
but
that show's on Stars. It's good. Pennyworth. Yeah.
it's on Stars now. It used to be on some weird.
Oh, it's on
Wasn't it
Epix.
Epix or
Epix.
something? Yeah.
No, I think it's coming to HBO Max now.
So next we have Commissioner Gordon, and in this movie it was played by Pat Hingle. But Commissioner Gordon has been, some of the best actors we've got have played Commissioner Gordon. Jeffrey Wright is going to be the new Commissioner
Yeah.
Gordon, but we also have J.K. Simmons, who's amazing, and we've had Gary Oldman. So who do you have, Sam, playing the great Commissioner Gordon?
I have no follow-up, no introduction or anything.
Well,
I picked,
he's here.
Yeah.
I met him this morning.
Other than you can go have coffee with him later if you want. I picked Giancarlo Esposito.
Giancarlo Esposito here live at LA Comic Con, known for always being under control. He is great as Gus from Breaking Bad, but he's also the evil governor, or I can't remember his title in The Mandalorian.
I think it's Governor.
Yeah,
He's a Moff.
oh, Moff, that's
Yeah,
right. He's
yeah.
Moff. He was in Do the Right Thing, The Usual Suspects, and of course, as great of an actor he is, we all have to take work. Chupacabra, Dark Seas.
Are you gonna tell him that?
I am. Believe me, if I got to moderate for him, the first thing I would talk about is Chupacabra, Dark Seas.
Okay.
Because
Pretty bold of you to say that to.
That's usually how he introduces.
Where can I
Carlos
find that on
Esposito, but-
streaming? Because now I have to watch
Yeah.
it.
I don't know
it
where. I
existed.
think it's a sci-fi movie.
Like, how can, like,
No, I mean,
that's
the
why
channel.
So I know what you
Chupacabra
mean.
is a land creature.
So it's probably on Peacock.
That's why it's so weird.
Well, I have a question because I'm not kind of like modern actors. Is Giancarlo? Could he like give you like a mini speech?
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
He's so smooth and
No, Giancarlo is one of the better actors we have.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So at the end, did you watch Mandalorian? He had a nice.
I was shocked at how he's not very tall.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's still going to kick your butt, but he's going
He
to.
has the opposite of Big Fredo energy.
Ah, yes. Yeah. That's a call back to the last episode.
Yeah, go check.
He's got small Michael energy. I don't know. All right. So Heather, who is your Commissioner Gordon?
So this Commissioner Gordon, in this particular movie, Tim Burton made him kind of a goofy man. Not goofy. He just really wasn't that
He was
important.
just super
But
British.
He was just a cop, just nothing big. And
Oh
so
no, you're right, Commissioner Gordon. He's just Pat Hingle. He's great.
yeah, and it's just so I went with somebody that is I like as kind of a cop, has a little goofy streak. G.W. Bailey. I don't know if anybody knows who he is.
I do.
Actually,
I love
so
him.
He was in
as-
Police Academy.
So as everyone, as you complain about Guttenberg month that you had to suffer through, who was in 3 Guttenberg movies. He's in Short Circuit, he's in Police Academy, and I think he's in another movie with Steve Guttenberg. They're always Nemesis, but he was also someone who's great in our favorite, The Closer.
The Closer, yeah.
And Major Crimes, the sequel to that. But he was also in Mannequin, pretty much doing the same thing, always chasing. He's the inept cop or the inept FBI or whatever. So why G.W. Bailey? Is it because you watched so many Guttenberg movies?
No, it's actually from The Closer more because he's goofy, just kind of, but still a cop, like cop first, goofy second type thing. I like him.
I think he'd make a good Harvey Bullock for you Batman fans. No, everyone's looking at me like, what the hell is he saying?
No, Harvey's in. Yeah, because Harvey's in the
Yeah,
Batman movies
yeah,
too.
Yeah, but Harvey, I'm just saying he'd be a better Harvey than a.
Oh, yeah.
But that's just me. We have Giancarlo Esposito. We have G.W. Bailey. And we've got 6 minutes, so we're going to rush through this. So how many for G.W. Bailey?
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
the Police
He's
Academy.
he wears little fisherman hats when it's sunny outside.
Giancarlo Esposito. All right.
That is a good pick. It's a good
So
pick.
that means you have a 2-point lead.
Did you pick G.W. Bailey?
No, I went with Jeffrey Dean Morgan
Ooh, also
from
an
The
excellent
Walking
pick.
Dead.
Yeah.
I think he'd also make a very good James J. Jameson someday.
I want pictures of Spider-Man.
So we're going to really go through this really quick because we're already over time, but nobody's here to kick us out and they want to leave. So we're down to the last one,
Yeah.
and so we need 2 points. And so Heather, you're going to start off I needed a 7th person.
This is a cameo.
We're going with Paul Rubens, who's playing the father of what's the Cobblepot? Is
Of
he?
Oswald
Oswald
Cobblepot.
Cobblepot.
Yeah.
He's Oswald Cobblepot, but his name is something.
Tucker Cobblepot.
So
What's Tucker Cobblepot?
yes, yeah, he's his
Yeah, his
original
rich dad, that's
that
right.
threw him in the river, right?
And he also replayed this on Gotham, the television show. He came back and played the Penguin's dad again 30 years later.
Yeah.
But that one did not abandon their child. But nonetheless,
So Heather, who do you have
remember
playing
this
the
is
very
a
rich guy?
cameo for the Penguin's father.
Okay.
I went with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
This one is the one I went, what? So,
oh my God, it wasn't me. It wasn't Robert Englund.
no.
No, it's so funny because it's Danny DeVito. The little Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's a twins reference. I get it.
Twins.
So Schwarzenegger's known for returning again and again. He was in the Terminator movies, Maggie,
Mr. Yeah,
Kindergarten
yeah,
Cop,
yeah.
Conan the Barbarian, and Pumpin' Iron. Every single one of those movies we have covered on Matinee Heroes. So go to
You covered
matineeheroes.com.
Pumpin' Iron?
We did. It was a Patreon edition.
He's also in Jingle All the Way to keep it.
Oh yeah.
And he's also in
Holiday
Batman
relevant.
Forever.
Yes.
Yeah, oh,
He's
well, yeah.
Mr. Freeze, yeah.
Have a ice day.
And I know.
All right. And so who do you have?
I went with Bill Hader.
Bill Hader. All right. Bill Hader. If you don't know Bill Hader from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
He plays Stefan.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was in Tropic Thunder. He was in Trainwreck. He was in It. He's got a great show called Barry on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
And he played a very bad cop, a dumb cop in Superbad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why Bill?
I thought that it would be really fun to see him and Andy Serkis kind of juxtaposed together, and kind of a little bit of the height difference because Bill Hader's like 9 feet tall. But also, I think that he'd be, as a cameo, it'd be really fun to have this outgoing comedic guy just do something completely heartless.
I'm going to have
Which
him do
is
his
exactly
Vincent.
what,
Paul Rubens.
Paul
does.
Rubens.
I want him to do his Vincent Price impression because he's really good at that.
Oh yeah.
So we have Arnold
I wanna do it
Schwarzenegger
against Devon.
versus Bill Hader. How many people are going with Arnold?
I would pay to see that fight, by the way.
The governor of California.
Yeah.
And who wants Bill Hader? And with that, it's official. Sam, you have won our cast off, and you have today's final thought.
Go see The Matrix Resurrections when it comes out on 12/22 or Christmas-ish, because my new job, I'm doing the advertising for it, like the billboards and stuff like that.
You think
if
I'm dropping names? She's
if
dropping movies.
So if you go and see it in the theater, it guarantees I still have a job, so please go see it.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well, now that you've explained that, I will go see it in the theater just for you.
Hey, thanks. The
All right.
theater near me has those nice like lounge chairs and the bar inside. Jason, I'll smuggle you
So
something.
just so everyone knows, my cobblepot was Bill Nighy, so we almost had
nice.
it. I thought he'd make a good little cameo.
I am very surprised that there was no appearance by Helen Mirren or Riz Ahmed in your lists.
I don't do Riz Ahmed a lot. That's
That's a bold-faced lie.
no. A lot of other people do Riz Ahmed. I think I get blamed a lot for the Charlize Theron, and I don't pick her a lot.
No, I've been on your show twice before this, and Riz Ahmed has showed up twice.
Well, he probably fit the bill. But if you'd like to be on the show, you can go to matineeheroes.com/castoff and fill out an application. I have no doubt that I'll see someone named Chase pop through. He'll say Wookiee number 2, because we all know that Chewbacca's Wookiee number 1. Hey, at least you're not Lumpy.
I get that.
Wah.
Yeah, Lumpy was the other. Well,
Was the one in the holiday special.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yes, he's like, yes. So, you can follow us on Twitter at The Castoff Show. Join the Facebook book group, Matinee Heroes. You can go to matineeheroes.com/castoff, where you can find links to all of our video streams and subscribe to the YouTube channel, which we desperately need so we can get a custom URL for the new year. But other than that, LA Comic-Con, thank you for having us. And to each and every one of you, I could go down and shake your hand because there's only 5 of you. But I appreciate the 4 of you that stuck around and the guy who came in at the last second to get all the credit. So thank you so much for being here. I'm Craig Price. This has been The Cast Off.